I'm Yolande from Oracle Technology Network, and I'm here today at Devox in Belgium and talking to Daniel Deluce. Daniel, hi.
Hi, Yolande. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. And so, what do you do, Daniel, for a living?
For living, I'm a freelancer, so proposing my services as a software architect, team leader in software development in Java, J2E platforms. Normal stuff, let's say.
Okay. And so, what is the robot in your arm?
The robot in my arm is now. So it's from Aldebaran Robotics, a French company is building them. We use such robots for the Devox for Kids initiatives, where we try to teach children, to introduce children to computer software, to computer programming, in order to introduce them to computer science in general. So we do that either with normal computers, let's say, to show them that they can be creative with those computers instead of just watching Facebook, commenting on Facebook, or posting pictures or watching videos on YouTube. We want to teach them that it's also possible to be creative, to build, for example, some games in an easy way.
Yeah.
And the other way is also to teach them, give them an aspect of robotics where we teach them, a robot, it's also a computers, you can also program it, but it has another interface. So you can have multiple sensors here, a sonar, sensors on the feet, on the hands, and they use all those sensors in order to make the robots doing things quite funny sometimes. We do that with this kind of robots. We use also some Lego Mindstorms. And another aspect we try to teach them is also electronics, showing them that behind the computers, the screens, the mouse, the robots, there is a motherboard, there are some electronic components. And for this we use the Arduino platforms. So we teach them voltage, ohms, all those electronic particularities, and we make them lighting a LED using sensors. And sometimes we also interact with the Arduino platform sensors and with the computers to use the sensors of the Arduinos in order to make the games, for example.
Okay.
So combining them.
You taught also green food?
Green food, true. That's a higher level of in the education part.
Yep.
No teaching really concept of Java, object-oriented programming using Java, like object instances, having different instances in a world. And then those instances are, for example, a turtle that they have to move around with the keyboards. And behind them, we show them, sometimes now you have to code Java. And so we introduce them to Java and to those concepts. But it's for high level between, let's say, 12 to 15 years old children.
So where do you do those workshops? I mean, in which countries?
We started in 2012 in Belgium with 2 sessions, 2 events, one in Flanders and in Dutch, and in Wallonia in French. And then quickly the other judges started to create also events, and so we have now events in different regions in France, in Holland also, in the Netherlands. Also there are multiple different cities, in Denmark, in Switzerland, in Geneva, for example, recently. Also, we are starting session. We're going to start session next year in Canada, in the US, in the Bay Area, in San Francisco. We already started last month in the Philippines, just before the typhoon. So now it's kind of tricky. So I got good news. So everybody's fine, but the schools are completely destroyed. So and we're going to start also in Africa, North Africa, in Morocco.
So, what happened with the language? I mean, how those groups work with the language? Do they design it yourself, or what kind of resources can they depend on?
Yeah, the problem that we encountered, that's why we started initially the Devox for Kids, that we were looking for materials on the internet to teach software programming to our own children. But the problem is that, we found materials, but only in English. But let's say it's good for the US, for example, in Canada, but the rest of the world, sometimes children at that age do not speak English yet. So we translate them, we combine them, and we share, of course, those materials, and we try to help them in to have some translations for the other countries, or we translate them in English and then they translate, for example, in Danish or in French, for example. So every groups, as in their own country, have the native language version of the workshops.
So if somebody wants to do that, I mean, do they need to pay for anything for the training, or I mean, what do you offer?
No, everything is in open source minded. So we share all our materials on our website, so www.devoxforkids.com. And everybody is welcome to use it, not necessarily under the name of Devox for Kids, as long as basically they share what they have modified and what they have created with us, so we can reshare the same information to everybody else. That's the main goal. We're not looking for having a benefit, or so the only benefit we are looking for is the happiness of the children, the joy on their faces when they are programming such a robot. It's amazing. You have to see that. It's really incredible. And it's also incredible from the parents' point of view, because they say, my child has changed basically. He come back home and it's just talking about this all the week long. And they're really happy. And sometimes the parents ask, okay, can you do that for us too? And say, sorry, but we are just
concentrating
on the children. So it's really funny sometimes. It's really rewarding. And it's they give us inspirations, okay? Yep. You can give a lot of inspiration to the children because they have some incredible ideas what they can do with those robots, for example. And also the games they are building with the applications. But they give us also inspiration and say, okay, this is really an enormous reward, because it's very fun to do that. You learn a lot also from the children, because they are not afraid of doing things with the computers. While the adults sometimes, persons say, okay, can I do this? Can I not do this? Will it break now? The children don't care. They just go full speed. If it breaks, okay, it breaks, but at least they learn from it. So it's very
rewarding.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing. You should try it. It's really have to advise to do that. Do it. Even with your own child, it's very funny. Sometimes you can just, even without the computers, you can do things already. And you will see that happiness on your child again. It's very wonderful.
So if they want to get started, they should go to the website or contact you?
They can go to the website to look already at the videos, to have an impression already what has been done already. And then they can contact us. We start discussing to help them, giving them advices how to get eventually where to look at for locations, how to get eventually sponsorships, and how to organize this. We have, for example, tomorrow at the session, we have a session on room 7 where we will explain, give all the tips and tricks we have learned so far, how to organize sessions, but also the second part will be on all the workshops we already are providing. And the buff in the evening will be talking about question and answers. And we will also discuss about eventually new things that we can add, new type of workshops we can do. Nowadays, you have hundreds of thousands of possibilities to teach in a fun way computer science to children.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you for sharing your story and your wonderful work. This is really wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.